Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for This Day in Metal, and I'm back with New Metal Monday where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and I have 5 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. This week was fantastic. Every single album that I'm going to be talking about this week is just peak metal for me. It's all very dark, very atmospheric. Every single one of them are absolutely fantastic in that regard, but they're also quite different from each other as well. They have different kind of elements, which I will be jumping into shortly. But like I said, 5 brand new albums, so let's get on with it. Okay, so first up on my list, I have God Dethroned with the Judas Paradox, and this is blackened melodic death metal. Now, I love an album that has a story, that has a concept, and this album is no different whatsoever to that. It delves into different religious stories and mythological stories worldwide, so it's not just centered on one particular area or era for that matter. So you have the secrets of the Vatican, stories about Judas himself, tarot cards, demons, the nature of good and evil, all of that really cool, interesting stuff that I think is a very good concept for heavy metal. Now, musically, it's very melodically driven. Yes, it's heavy, it's incredibly heavy, it's going to rip you apart when you listen to this, but it does focus on the heavier side of the melodics. But not only that, the blast beats in this are relentless. They just keep going. Vocally, they're very rasping, very guttural and very deep, but there's something incredibly enticing and intoxicating about it. And the vocals do tell the story about each individual track. It's a very dark, very ominous record, but it's very fun to listen to at the same time. But it's a fantastic combination of black metal and death metal rolled into one. So if you're a fan of the likes of Behemoth, Necrophobic, Belphegor, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But I've listened to this quite a lot over the course of the weekend, and I'm always picking up on little bits that I missed out on before. And when you really listen to the lyrics of each track, the musical side of things just makes sense, and you find that the music is also telling the story along with the lyrics. It's very well done. Definitely get onto this one. Okay, so next up on my list, of course, I have Wolfart with Draconian Darkness, and this is melodic death metal. Now, the band are known for their winter metal, so if you think of icy mountain landscapes with the aurora borealis above you, with swirling winter winds that are incredibly cold, with beautiful landscapes, this is the one for you. I love everything about this record. It's very melodically driven as well, but there's something very uplifting and rousing about this, despite the fact it's incredibly crushing at the same time. So you have all of those beautiful melodic riffs, blistering blast beats that just go on forever, and beautiful atmosphere with the synths and the keyboards and the orchestration. But not only that, you've got the combination between the deep guttural growls and rasps, and you've also got those soaring powerful cleans that just bounce off each other, that creates this amazing dynamic. So if you like your melodic death metal to be on a bit of a wintry, icy side, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. Also, if you are a fan of the likes of Omnium Gatherum or Before the Dawn, Counting Skies, that kind of sound, this one is definitely for you. I also love the album artwork on this. This is a band that I've loved for a very long time, and I was very impressed with this new record. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Officium Trist with Hortus Venenum, and I hope that's how you pronounce it. And this is melodic death doom metal. I love melodic death doom metal, especially when it does lean more to the doom side of things. So for this particular record, you can expect it to be very grand and opulent, but very slow and trudging and devastatingly heavy. But the guitar work in this is a real standout moment. It's soaring, it's very intricate, very heartfelt and emotive, but so heavy at the same time. The melodics are rich and dense, and it's a very intoxicating record. You also have a lot of the cool spoken word moments throughout it as well, and it really does capitalize on that very atmospheric doom kind of style with the melodic death metal riffage thrown into the mix as well. Haunting choirs, eerie keys and synths, orchestration, violins. There's just something very dark and bleak and moody about this record, but it's gorgeous behind all that bleakness as well. It's an utterly captivating record that really just draws you into a melancholic world full of dark elegance and overpowering intensity. And they really do walk that fine balance between that dark intensity and the dark elegance, but brutal melodic death metal at the same time. So if you are a fan of last year's Fires in the Distance in particular, or Insomnium, My Dying Bride, or Celestial Season, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But like I said, especially if you are a fan of last year's Fires in the Distance and Insomnium, it's that same kind of vibe. Loved this, absolutely gorgeous record. Okay, so next up on my list, I have The Last Oblation with Apex, and this is blackened melodic death metal. But this takes a very unique and artistically stylish approach to the melodic blackened death metal subgenre, and it's very guitar driven. Yes, it's very densely melodic and gorgeously atmospheric, but they do take more of a technical approach to the riffs and the melodies throughout this record. So you've got some really cool detailed guitars throughout, and it really does focus on the guitars. But not only that, the blast beats are immense. You've got really cool, detailed, chugging bass lines throughout this as well. I love it when you can really focus on the bass in my metal, and it makes it really, really interesting. But not only that, yes, the vocals are primarily rasping and deep guttural growls, but they change the pace throughout it. So you've got those slow, kind of really demonic growls, and then they maintain that style, but it's a quickened pace, and it makes it really addictive. This is a ridiculously catchy record, and I was really taken off guard about how catchy I found this, especially with all of those technical intricacies throughout. And the way that the vocal style is, like I said, very, very demonic throughout, but when they do the fast-paced vocals, but maintaining that demonic growling power, absolutely unreal. But there's beautiful orchestration throughout this as well, very densely atmospheric, that just creates this very dynamic, multi-layered sound. But that last track on the record is purely instrumental, orchestration, and it's just gorgeous. The band really do push the boundaries of subgenres, and they kind of blur them together with this particular record, and they walk that fine line between brutality and beauty, and I cannot get enough of this record either. I really enjoyed their last record that they released last year. I think it was last year. So I'm amazed that they've managed to capitalize on that amazing record from last year to create an even more outstanding record now. Plus the artwork for this is pretty cool too. So if you are a fan of the likes of Permutation, Carthus, or the Nuclear Winter record that I recommended last year, you're definitely going to want to get onto this, but I cannot get enough of this record either. Definitely check it out. Very unique, very artistically and stylistically done, and I love this. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Bloody Valkyria with Kingdom in Fire. And this is atmospheric, melodic black metal, and it's a solo project. I love these solo projects that are coming out. I recommend them all the time, and I cannot get enough of them. And this one is particularly cool for a couple of reasons. One, look at that album artwork. Dragons, battles, fire, beautiful colours. Love this, and that kind of style is what you get in the music. The other reason I absolutely love this is because conceptually it's based off of Tolkien's work. So if any of you guys are Tolkien fans, definitely get onto this one. Now, the album itself is kind of split between 3 main tracks, which are between 12 and 14 minutes long each, and then another 3 kind of instrumental pieces that are very artistically done. So the instrumentals obviously don't have any vocals, but the 3 main tracks that are between 12 and 14 minutes long each do have vocals, and they are your proper rasping black metal, powerful and energized yet raw black metal vocals. But the guitars in this, and just musically in general, gorgeous. And when I say it's Tolkien, This is definitely Tolkien metal. I'm going to coin this as atmospheric black Tolkien metal. And it tells a story of different battles, different adventures. And that's the kind of vibe that you get from this. There's just something very magical about this record. And it really speaks to your soul when you listen to it, especially if you are a fan of that kind of fantasy world. Sprawling guitars, screaming solos, beautiful atmosphere, blistering drums, amazing bass lines in this, and together it just creates an absolutely amazing story. It's gorgeous, densely atmospheric, very melodically driven as well, but you can actually get the feel for that Tolkien fantasy world whilst you're listening to this. There's just something very grand and opulent about this. It's also very dark, but it's really fun to listen to at the same time. This is a work of art and everybody needs to get onto this, especially if you are a fan of Far Beyond, Dworodelf, Sur, that kind of sound. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records, and if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will definitely get them checked out. Check out the description box below where you will find a Spotify playlist which will feature every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos, unless it is a Bandcamp only release, but I will get that noted. So if you do use Spotify, make sure to follow that playlist because I update that every single Monday as soon as these videos go live. But if you don't use Spotify, don't worry about it because I will also include the links to the band's Bandcamp pages or their YouTube channels, just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. Also, whilst you're there, check out the This Day in Metal website that I write for, where you will find all of the breaking news in the metal world, full and detailed album reviews that breaks down the albums track by track in a lot more detail, special features and interviews and everything in between. So make sure you subscribe to that as well, where you can get all the news and the latest album reviews and interviews straight to your inbox. Thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you very soon in my next video.